Well,
good evening.
Oh my goodness, do I have butterflies tonight, and I am so excited and honored to be sitting here with you tonight. So you don't have the long-haired hippie and the stay-at-home mom. Tonight you have the school teacher and the carpenter. So we are so excited for tonight's call, where we are going to be interviewing two incredible ladies. We have a midwife speaking first, and then we have a stay-at-home mom, and then we have
the man, the legend,
Sir Lawrence, as he likes to call himself. So when Taylor asked ourselves, would we be willing to step into their incredible shoes, I'll admit I was extremely nervous.
Big shoes to fill.
Incredibly huge shoes to fill, but you always say yes when an incredible opportunity is shown to you.
And figure it out afterwards.
So tonight, as you're jumping on, guys, we want to know, is this your first time on the book club? If it is, can you drop a 1 below? Because I know that Taylor personally reaches out to everyone that is brand new. If you have never been with this incredible community before, well, welcome. You are in for the ride of your life. So we're going to just do a quick introduction to ourselves. I'll let you go first tonight.
Yes, so for anybody who doesn't know, we're from Ireland, from the accent. So my name is Seamus, as Mary says. I was the carpenter before we got involved with network marketing. I used to be own carpenter business, making staircases.
Nice and slow and clear, because we've got all over the world.
So I used to make staircases, and then unfortunately, when the last recession hit, it completely wiped me out. Like, I had debt coming out of my ears. I didn't know what to do. And thankfully, we come across network marketing at a time when we really, really desperately needed extra money. So we needed that extra 200 to 500 euros per month, because we just had bills we needed to pay, and we had no other way of bringing in an income.
So I really want, guys, I see loads of people jumping on, but I would love if every single one of you could click that share button, because I've got no idea, and you've got no idea who needs to hear this. But I guarantee you somebody does. And because of social media, we can really reach the masses here this evening. So in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a share button. If you click that, someone will hopefully get value from tonight's call. So I was a secondary school teacher, loved my job, never really imagined myself doing anything different. But every single month I was earning an income, but it wasn't covering all of our bills. And out of desperation, we said yes to this opportunity. I just love the idea of being able to have an extra 200 euros a month. I would love to know in the comments, why did you join if you're part of this incredible industry? Was it to become a millionaire, or was it that 500 to 1,500 euros each and every month? Because to us, if we could have built it up to 500 euros, wow, that excited us.
And build it around our two young kids.
Absolutely. We had no idea when we started if this was even going to work for us. What we did know was that we loved the product. We were having the most incredible experience with the product, and it was automatic that we were sharing it with others. The only thing we weren't doing at the start was getting paid.
And it didn't discriminate, because I didn't even finish college or finish school, but network marketing didn't discriminate. It took me on face value, and it allowed us to build an incredible business.
So hit that little in the comment section, the flag, so we can see. So we have people from Antrim here. We have people from Las Vegas. Also, I can see Facebook users. So there's a little description in above here. If you just click on that, that allows Facebook to show us your name, so we can see who you are. Otherwise, we can't see and give you a shout out. Welcome, Claire Louise Hurst. We're delighted to have you here this evening as well. So when we started this business, like I said, we were extremely shy, really quiet, lacking in all confidence and self-belief in ourselves, but we had a burning desire to create more choices. We weren't looking for the freedom lifestyle. We just wanted to make life that little bit easier, to have that savings.
Not having to go to the cash machine and becoming all holy and praying, hoping, making sure there's actually money there that you could take it out.
Yes. And in our first 10 days, we had reached the first 2 promotions in our company. Well, Taylor always says that belief determines behavior. Well, I'm telling you, after those first 10 days, did our behavior change? Because all of a sudden we were like, oh my goodness, if we can do this, then what could we do in a month or 2? So that was where our journey started. Earning that first 500 euros blew our mind by doing something which came so naturally, which was completely fitting around what we were already doing.
Because then after that, because up until then, we only thought it was theory. It was our upline was telling us that we could make money, but we weren't sure it was going to work. And we got that first paycheck. We knew it worked.
Absolutely. So we had a very quick start after that. We decided to start sharing the opportunity with people. Our very first team members were actually customers. And that really, I suppose, helped our belief as they started having success. And within the first year, we'd reached the top of our company. Both of us, we started one business in my husband's name, and then we started another business in my name. We got a little bit greedy and we thought, why not? And then we changed everything we were doing, and we went into managerial mode, and we started to think that we needed to know more, and we forgot what got us to that place was doing our job description. And you may think, how can someone build to the top of their company and forget how they got there? Well, very easily. And we got very confused, and we were listening to a lot of voices, and our business really declined. And at that stage, some people can think to themselves, does this really last? Have we really just, hit as far as we've gone and now we need to move on to something else? But something just sat with us that said, if we can do this once, we can do this again. Maybe we got lucky the first time, we had no idea. So we kept looking for solutions and trying new techniques. And we were always learning the latest social media technique, the latest Instagram technique. Did it work? Absolutely. But for a short period of time. Because
there was then always going to be a new technique coming out, and we had to learn it, and it got tiring after a while.
Absolutely. So we would get momentum. We would put a lot of energy into our business, and we would get momentum. But the minute that we stepped back and we thought we can take some time out, the momentum started to die.
Because the techniques changed.
And that is where Larry and Taylor came into our life. And my goodness, have they been a blessing to us. Because they have stripped this back to basics.
Really simplified everything.
Absolutely everything. And I'm going to be really honest with everyone tonight, because some of you may need to hear this. Was it scary? Absolutely.
Yes.
Because we brought this to our team. And what Larry and Taylor teach is
so different.
And it's so simple that you actually will think this is too simple. There has to be a trick somewhere. Like, can this really work? And for a while, we were excited to start. It's like everything when you join the business, you're excited. You're like, let's go, let's go, let's go. And then you reach the stage where you're like, I'm not seeing the results as quickly as I would like. And you start doubting things. And then you're nearly at that point, like in Larry's El Paso story, if you've never heard that, where you're maybe at number 50, 53 is just around the corner, but are you willing to stick it out? And that's where we were last August. So we started working really closely with them in June. We already had amazing momentum actually in our business at this time. But we wanted more people to win. We know that this is an industry where everyone can win if they know the simplicity of it. And we really believed there was something just not sitting right with what we were doing. And that's why we decided to lay all of our cards on the table and really believe in what they were doing. Because at the end of the day, there is nobody better out there to teach us than Larry Thompson.
And as Mary says, at the start, we didn't get success with it straight away. It took us until almost 90 days in with it until we started to get the success. And now the amount of success we have coming through in our business is incredible and actually is easier and is quicker than we ever thought possible.
But it didn't happen overnight. Was it easy? Looking back, yes, but the hardest part was our mind, doing our job description every single day. There's only a handful of things that we actually need to know to become extremely successful in network marketing. But what happens is we forget about those handful of things and we start doing 20 million other things, and we end up going round and round in circles. So we just needed a little bit of GPSing. Maybe you're the same. And whenever you find someone who can GPS you like that, and his message is always the same, that's when you know you're onto something absolutely incredible. So that is enough from us. We are so honored to be sitting in this seat tonight and sharing with you a little bit about what it's done for us. Our business has grown by over 1,000%.
It's really gone through the roof.
Hit an incredible accolade within our
promotion
company.
We've been working for years.
Yes, and we reached it last month. There's a very small select amount of people that actually ever reach this position, and the beauty of it is, whenever we would reach a huge promotion in the past, we would actually think we need to implement something new to move it faster. Whereas now we're sitting back going, this is just the beginning, because we know the secret, and you're going to learn the secret by sticking with Larry and Taylor and their teachings and using the ABC approach.
And what I love about it, we had been trained all these different techniques, so we had to unlearn a lot of the different things. A lot of our team had to unlearn everything we had brought to them in the past. But what I love about now is the new people who have been brought in over the last few months. They're starting off brand new, knowing this, not knowing anything else. And you can see that they're hitting it faster and quicker, and they're picking it up so much quicker than we are.
So we used to hope for, you get one person and they get one person, and, hopefully eventually they'll get another person. Now we experience multiplication.
We've never had that before.
There are people in our business and we don't even know who they are. Before this, we could have told you everybody, because we felt it was our duty to be in there and working with everybody, when that's not our job description, guys. Our job description is exactly the same as your job description if this is day one, and that is the beauty of this and what they teach. So first up tonight, we have a beautiful lady who was a midwife, has an incredible story to tell, is part of our organization and plays a huge role in our community. She is from lovely Leitrim, and Carol, we are so delighted to be interviewing you tonight on Larry and Taylor's platform. So can you just introduce yourself first and foremost, Carol, and tell everybody a little bit about you?
Oh, thank you so much, Mary and Seamus, for having me on. I am so nervous, so honoured. I didn't expect to be talking on tonight or any night, so it's a great honour, so it is. So my name is Carol Gallagher. I'm a mum of two, and I'm midwife, and I started in the business, so I did 4 years ago, and I absolutely love it, so I do. And since I started with Larry and Taylor, it has given me so much confidence. Like before that, it was going down one lane and you go so far. And then, as you said, you change, you go down another lane. And then you were always looking at what everybody else was doing. And you were really all the time getting distracted. And I started in the focus group with Larry and Taylor, and it just started to make sense to me. The pillars just made so much sense to me that it just, as you said, it made it so simple. I was like, really? Is that it? Is that all? And it just brought it back to basics. So it did. So I learned so much from the pillars, from listening to them every single day, because I do think that is key. And I sit down now and I listen to them and I take notes, because I hear something different. Even months and months later, I am hearing something different. And another thing I liked about it was life circumstances can get in the way and you can get distracted from what you're doing. But because it's so simple and nothing has changed, you come back and you pick up the pillars again and you get down to work again. You know exactly where to start off. And that was big for me in the last few months as well. Life circumstances took me off for a month or so in myself, but I knew exactly reach out, get back on, and what I had to do was start listening to the pillars again and start taking action with the pillars again. So it really opened up so much, language, audience behavior, how to talk to people. It was really, really amazing. And it's to also understand that 80% of people are really, really happy in their jobs. They're really, really happy with their lifestyle, and that they just would love a little extra that wouldn't interfere with what they're already doing. But before that, I was like, oh come and earn loads of money, that kind of way, that this is a great opportunity. Why does everybody not want this and that? Instead of, now I focus that you're supplementing your amazing life you already have. I'm sharing that with people. So that was a huge thing for me, to change that mindset I had as well. Not that people don't want to disturb their lifestyle. And then to feel good, you, it, and them. Like, not to take things personally, to make the person, share it with them, let them come to that natural logic conclusion, and that you leave them, even if they don't order from you, if they don't join your team, you leave them feeling really good about you, and you actually are buzzing and feeling really good, and you start to build that relationship, and that you never know what can develop down the road. You're not, worried about reaching out and chatting to that person again because you've left on a good level. There is no, trying to convince them to buy your product, or trying to convince them to join you, be a partner with you or anything. So everybody, they feel good, you feel good. And that so works for me, because it makes me, not as nervous reaching out to people and sharing this amazing product that I have had amazing benefits with, and just want to share the gift with other people. So that was really, really good. That's not transactional. You're sharing. That was just mind-blowing. And then just keeping it simple, keeping your story simple, keeping, you don't have to, your story not to be 10, 15 minutes long, your whole lifestyle. Just keep it nice and simple. Like when Taylor went through the stories and how to make our story, that 2 minutes that, you can share what it has all done for you. It's just really, really simple. And you're just getting to the point and you're helping other people so much. And just to let those handles that Larry and Terry talk about the handles of your company, the handles of the vision of your company, that's all you need. You don't need to know everything about the product. You don't need to know all what's in it. You don't need to know all about the compensation plans or anything. Just little handles for people to grab onto is absolutely just makes it so simple, so simple. And then our job description, this is my biggest take. And I keep saying, it's just something that keeps going around my head. Use Talk Demo. That's my job description. And sometimes we get carried away that we actually forget what we actually get paid for. And that was something that I was totally guilty for. I was so busy icing the cake, I wasn't even making the cake. And because I wasn't, I'm using the product, but I wasn't talking about it openly to people, asking them would they like to know more about it, sharing it with them. So it's just to keep that is your priority every day. Use Talk Demo and keep it nice and simple. And then that when my partners joined me, that's all I had to tell them. That's all you have to do. You just use the product. You talk about your experience taking the product, and you talk to people. Are they open? And you just share other people's testimonials, other people's journeys. And that's the same for like the business side of thing, that you're living proof that it works. Loads of other people that it works for, and just share other people's stories. That it's really, really simple. So bringing all that together, it just has changed my business and my everyday so much. And that I'm not a leader. I don't need to go everybody is a leader. What I mean is I'm not going into managerial mode that I have to lead all the time and pulling people along. And as was on one of the pillars, that you can't, teach the, desire and willingness. You can't lift the weights for your team and everybody else. You can show them by doing it yourself and showing them this is, how you lift the weight, but they have to lift them themselves, and directing people back to the pillars to find out answers to questions. That is really, really, instead of just telling people the answer, saying, well, what do you think you do, and go and check that out and come back to me with your answer. And it's just really given me, loads of just confidence in myself and multiplication for the future, and helping other people do it in a fun, simple, magical way. That's just, it's just amazing.
Oh my God, Carol, you've hit on so many points there. I just want to come back to a couple, but you can see Tara saying you're incredible, Carol. The growth in you over the last few months is phenomenal. Jane, you're doing fantastic, Carol. Love what you were sharing. Sheena, well said, Carol, so true. But I want you to just elaborate a little bit about what you said about the cake. You were busy icing the cake than making the cake. And I think that this is something that a lot of us could possibly perhaps be could be doing at this point in time. So do you want to just explain exactly what you mean by that for anybody who didn't quite grasp it?
So what I meant was, you're busy just icing a cake, making things look nice, making my Facebook page look nice, making my stories look nice, making my posts look nice, all the airy fairy, mindset, nice quotes, and all that stuff. Really, really nice, and spending
taking up a lot of
time doing it, a lot of time doing it, and sending it out to the universe that hopefully somebody might like it and come back to me. Whereas if you make the cake first and do your job description and put the foundation of the cake together, use Talk Demo, and then once you've that done every single day, then you can put the icing on for the rest of your time, if that's what you decide to do.
Brilliant.
But
Carol, sorry, go ahead.
That was a big one for me.
Yeah, and I think that's a huge one for a lot of people, because we say that we're busy, we don't have a lot of time. I'm on my phone constantly, but I'm not getting anywhere. But what are you doing? You know what? And I'll be really honest, I used to teach, and Larry he'll be shaking his head, but I don't do this anymore, but I did before I started understanding the concepts. I used to, when someone would join, have a look at their social media, say you need to change your profile picture, you need to change your banner, you need to do this, you need to do that. Like, if that had been done to me, I didn't even use social media. I would be like, I don't have time for this. So like what you're saying is what a lot of people probably are doing, and they're wondering why they're not having success, but they can change that so easily by getting into action mode and doing our job description every single day.
And we were sharing with you backstage before you come on the increase in your paycheck from this time last year. Did you say where you get increased your paycheck since working with Larry and Taylor?
78%.
Yes.
So guys, this is Larry and Taylor teach wealth building skills, real wealth building skills in a simple, fun, magical way. And you've heard from Carol, the midwife, tonight, where she has increased her pay by 78%. Do you know any other job that you could increase your pay by 78%?
And she's not working any harder.
She's working probably a lot less, but getting a lot better results. Would you say, Carol?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I just making the time, saying this is my set of time to do my job description, use Talk Demo, do it, and then move on with your day. It just is really, really important. And it's growth in me that I needed.
Amazing.
Carol.
So Larry and Taylor, Carol, talk about the ABC approach, the academy, the book, and the club. So you are a little bit different in that we started before the club and the book was available. So the academy actually wasn't even available.
We started in the backyard.
So for anybody, maybe this is their first time here, or maybe they have got the book and they're thinking about, should I, the next steps. So they're on the book club, they've bought the book. If you're on the club and you haven't bought the book, the next step I would say is make sure you're getting this book. It is your Bible for life, not just for your business. But what would your takeaway be for people who maybe haven't joined the academy yet? What would you say is one of the greatest benefits of being in the inner circle, is the way I see it, like in that mastermind community?
I just love that. First of all, that you have at your fingertips the pillars. They're there. You have also like the El Paso story, and the employ yourself, and all those amazing things that when I sit into the car, that's what comes on. It's like no more music. I put that on so that I feel like it's building me up. So that I have that at my fingertips. That is so vital. And then our deep dives, then they're just absolutely amazing. So they are once a month, embracing more into it. And you might have heard this stuff before, but every time you hear it, it embeds it more and more and more, and gives you that coat of armor that we all need. And because like the belief I have in everything is so much stronger, and that's I really recommend the academy. I actually really, really do.
Amazing, Carol. And one final question. it's one thing to see yourself succeeding, but really what this industry is about is other people succeeding. It's your team winning. So you are living proof that this
One of your team had a big
huge promotion
today.
with a huge bonus today. So how does that feel? Like, you know, because the growth in your team is phenomenal at the minute. So how does that feel, Carol, compared to the way we used to do it?
So yeah, so like for Jane, the community, I'm so absolutely delighted for her, because I brought her in this way, the Larry and Taylor way. So it was fun, simple, magical, use, talk, demo, and that was it. There was nothing else, and not all the stuff that we used to do in the past. And I hooked her into the club here, and because she got the book, so she's on that, and so then she's thinking about the academy and that now. So what I mean is that she had all the tools there to go herself. She has the willingness, she has the desire, but it was so simple. She knew what to do. She was just told, use, talk, demo, and do that every day, and you'll get results. And she is proof that she is just getting results month and month and month, like and she's doing it well advanced before the end of the month.
She has 5 kids. How many kids does she have?
She has 5 kids, and she also works as a nurse as well.
Wow.
And she is like smashing this business.
Super busy.
Because Carol brought her in the Larry and Taylor way, in a fun, simple, and magical environment where there's 3 steps she needs to do every single day, and she's living proof that if you just don't do those 3 steps, you'll create an income that will.
And she hasn't been showing any speed bumps, so she's taken off really, really quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no speed bumps, and there's no you do this, you do that. She just, desire and willingness, just does her job description every day.
Amazing.
Incredible.
And you are incredible, Carol. You are a huge part of our community, a huge advocate of this industry, and it's just like 78% growth. That's nothing compared to what the next year is going to bring now, Carol. So thank you so much, guys. Hit that love button. Make sure and show Carol some love that she can check out after this call. You're incredible, Carol. I don't know why you were nervous, because you just spoke so brilliantly. Thank you so much, Carol.
Thank you, everybody.
So, guys, how amazing was that? Like, Carol joined this industry because
she was a midwife.
Yeah, she was a midwife, but she was at home and she wasn't well, and she wanted to just be able to, create that little bit of extra income. And look at her now. Not only is she winning, her team is winning with this approach. So if you would like to be on the screen with Larry and Taylor sharing your story, make sure that you're, reading the book and that you're reaching out and you're letting them know the success that you're having, because they love to feature new stories each and every week. So up next, we're going across the water to Bonnie, Scotland, to the beautiful Celia. So Celia is a stay-at-home mom, has an incredible story to share, and is a beautiful, really the kindest person that you'll ever meet. Is a lot of fun to be around, and is a little bit nervous tonight. So I want you to show a lot of love. Like it's one thing coming on a call like this with your team, but to come on Larry and Taylor's call, that's different level. Like that's next level. But Celia, first and foremost, thank you so much for agreeing to share what Larry and Taylor have done for you. But before you get into that, share a little bit about you and what life's like for you.
Thank you, Mary and Seamus, for actually having me on this call. And I might be fun to be around most of the time, but tonight I am so nervous. Take a breath. No, so my name is Celia, and I am a mum of 2 from Glasgow. And I started basically, pure and simply, just to cover the cost of my product. And then obviously met Mary yourself and said, well, you could, what would you like to? And I said, well, a few hundred extra would be really good to help with household, because I was at home with my 2 kids and also suffering a lot of postnatal at the time. So it was just like, if I could help take the burden off a little bit, would help me. And so then it was a case of blind enthusiasm, as they say. You went out and you spoke about it, and I'm always one for talking. I need to remind myself to slow down here as well. And I'll talk and tell them everything about what this is, what it's doing, and just get so excited. But then it stopped. And then life just came in, and it's a case of, why is this not working? I'm doing the same thing. I need to be on this call. I need to be on that call. I need to do this. No, you need to wait a wee minute, Pet. You need to do it. And it was just constant. I need to learn this. I need to learn this. I need to learn this. And that's the way it was. That's just the way it was at that time.
Yeah.
And it consumed me quite a bit to the point that the family was like, oh, you've always got that phone in your hand. Rolling on from that then is a case of I sat and I thought to myself, that's not really why I joined this. I wanted to just cover the cost of the product for me and my kids, maybe make a couple extra, but I didn't want to lose out in the fact that I was being at home with my kids to be with my kids. So for me, that's where it kind of slowed. I suppose I started getting a bit inward in the sense of I need to stop bombarding people with this. I need to stop trying to say no to calls, but I didn't want to say no to calls because I felt it was missing something. I'm not learning this. I don't know that. And things slowed up for me in the sense of, I suppose I stopped and that I would do a bit, numbers, and then I would burn myself out. I need to stop because I need to go back to the kids. And then obviously along came Larry and Taylor and you introduced us to that. And that's where things just completely changed. And it was a complete breath of fresh air for me, to be completely honest. Can I just
pause you there just a little second? Because I think that what you're saying is so powerful, Celia. Yeah. And this is the case. Like, guys, these are people in our own team. So we want you to realize that this is the way we used to teach, and we had success, but it was exhausting. And people like Celia were not going to win with that approach. So what Celia was saying was, we had so many different calls, different training calls for this and training calls for that. We had lost the whole reason that people joined this industry. Like Celia said, she joined because she wanted to first and foremost get her products for free if she could, and perhaps then earn an extra couple of hundred to pay for the, to contribute to the household bills. But
she didn't sign up for a second job.
No, but we were providing her with a second and a third job. She was losing out in time with her kids, and she wasn't really making any money. So we wonder why people don't stay around. Well, you're lucky that you made great friends and had a great connection, and we do have a very great community. But if we didn't have that, you wouldn't be here. And how lonely our lives would be because we wouldn't know you. But there are people that are waiting for you to find them that we will never find. But the approach that we were using was not working. So if that's you tonight, if Celia's story is resonating with you and that's the way you feel, you don't need an upline to decide that you can join the, Larry and Taylor's teachings. You can start from today and just like we have and turn it all around. So I just really wanted to make sure that people realize, because I think it's so powerful what you just shared. So that's the way you're feeling. Mm-hmm. Let's take it to then you joined Larry and Taylor. What happened and what was so magical about it?
First and foremost, I was a bit starstruck at the beginning because I kind of thought, right, this is really who we're on calls with. And then realised how down to earth and how relatable and how I thought these are normal people. I can relate to this. They're talking to me like they're talking to me, and it's not just knowledge and more training and more. It was just how it is, and the fact that you could turn around. What they said was like, you don't have to. You go into a shop and you say to someone, which I would always do. I love that. Where's that from? Where did you get your shoes? Where did you get your bag? As women generally do, and from his perspective, from Larry, when he had said that to me, I thought that is what I would do. So when someone would say to me, what are you doing? I would shy away because I'm like, I'm going to have to give them a whole lot of information here. No, it's just this wee thing. And that's where I froze. From their layered teachings, it was like, just tell them how it's making you feel. That's it. I don't know if you would get the same as me, or I don't know if you would like it, but that's what it does for me. And that's where I just went light bulb in the sense of like, I can do this. I can do this. So it just brought the fun back. It brought the just relax. I can actually bring on a team because I don't need to teach. I don't need to show them how to do this. They just share their story. We just have fun and share our story. And that was just the biggest thing for me, was that. And the fact that they also said, well, it was Taylor was the spigot, as she would call it, the hose and the tap, and turn it on. Well, before I would numbers, and then it would back off. So that tap was backing off. The water was slowing up. For now, it's more, I enjoy doing it. I'll do it every day if I want to do it every day, but I'll keep doing it. It's consistency. So that is flowing for just to all of a sudden just it's going to explode. And that is just where the sustainability for me is. And I realise now that that's what I was doing wrong. Going for it, pulling back, going for it. So they've brought it back to the fact that it has to be fun. You have to enjoy what you're doing. You don't have to be on all these calls. It's not what you took the job on for. You put your phone down and you have your family time, and you come back and you do the work, like the you, it, and them, and the yous talked about all the things that you're doing all the time. I'm always taking my product. I'm always talking about it in general, but don't see that as work. But it is. You're still doing it. You're still talking to people. So all these wee things are like pieces of a puzzle. And it just kind of started to slot in for me. And that's what made it. And talking, as I say, talking to people, you don't need to be on social media to do this. And again, so you're in a shop, you're talking to your friends, you're talking to your family, and you're not bombarding them with figures and facts and this and that. It's just, well, this is what it is. I don't know. I don't know if you'll get the same. I don't know if you'd like to try it, but, you know.
And how good do you feel when you say that? Because the reason that in the past, you, you know, myself, lots of others, we shy away from that is because what we're saying doesn't make us feel good. Like Larry always talks about the one thing you're pointing out and the three coming back to you. So when you've just, with the way that they teach you to share your story, like how do you feel when you share it now?
First of all, a lot more confident in doing it because that's my story. It's my truth. And it is what's happened to me. I don't need to shy away from it. This is what's happened to me. I'm not being a salesperson. That's the biggest thing. You're not sitting saying it's this, it's that. And so when I'm talking to now, I do put myself in the zone of go back to where I was. How did I start? Always go back to why I started, why this is helping me. And then it's now that I see it myself in the sense that people are coming to me, are people that were like me, or something like that. And that's the people I want to help. That genuinely help, not just, here's my product, buy it, take it to, I don't want to be a salesperson. That's just not me. I want to help you. If this might help you, it might not, but try it so you feel good. And when they come back, well, thank you so much for sharing that with me. It's not the right time. That's fine. Because I was that person. It's not the right time. When the time's right, you'll come back because we've had a connection there in that sense of I've not tried to sell something to you.
Definitely. And it's like Taylor, you know, always says that, did you get someone to want to do it, or did you get someone to feel like they had to do it, that they didn't have a choice? And a lot of the time, people feel like they don't have a choice, that they have to do it. And that's why it doesn't work for them then, because it's not that they want to do it.
And the chances of them reordering again is very, very slow.
Exactly.
And also, Celia, like so many golden points there. You said something about how many people, like on tonight's call, have that fear of when someone asks them what they do, or, you know, the question that you ask, maybe your upline is, well, what do I say to people? And in case you've missed that, Celia just shared with you what you say to people. So can you just share that again? Because I just think that sometimes the most important things can be missed on these calls. Yeah,
so basically when they would say to you, "What it's your truth, it's your story, that's it. There's no
your
lies,
story, your story
there's
is
no
what you share.
flannel, there's no fluffiness, it's just your story. So you know your story and you don't need to rehearse it, learn it. It's just your story, it's your truth.
Amazing. And the stay-at-home mom who joined this business to cover the cost of her product, perhaps be able to contribute to the household bills, to then spend so much time on calls, not making any money, to, since she has joined Larry and Taylor, what has your income increased by, Celia?
This is what excites me really and truly, because I'm doing less in the sense of what I think with the phone. So it's increased by 42%. I mean, that to me is just amazing. Like, it really is.
Incredible, Celia. Incredible. And you can see by you're loving what you're doing.
And
It doesn't feel like work to you anymore.
No.
Amazing.
And I don't feel guilty putting the phone down. That's the big thing. I don't feel guilty because I've done my DMO, as they would say. I've done it for the day, and that's it.
I love it. Love it, Celia. And you know, you made me realize something, that sometimes we hear people talk about it's a numbers game, and it is a numbers game, but a lot of people maybe join this industry but leave this industry. And I actually do believe that the reason for that could possibly be because there's so much training that they think they need to do. So the reason that they joined is to just bridge the gap in their income. They just want that extra 500 to 1,500 euros a month. They don't want to, as Carol said, leave their job. They love their job. They just want to add a little bit of spice to their life. but all of a sudden they join and it's like this second job. And then they're made feel a little bit guilty because they're not getting on the calls. And all of a sudden then they're like, you know what, this isn't what I want. So they leave, and they leave the greatest industry in the world because it's got too complicated. So thank you so much for really highlighting that if you can relate to what Celia is sharing tonight, it does not have to be that way. Celia is living proof that you can increase your income by 47% and do less and enjoy it more. So Celia, I'd love to know, what would your thoughts be for someone who, you know, isn't part of the academy yet? Because to me, that's where the magic happens.
Mm-hmm. Definitely the academy. Obviously, we started as the focus group.
As Sheena says, we came in the back door.
In the back door. Started as a focus group. So all the wee analogies that they use is like storytelling, in the sense that you can relate to that because they're on your wavelength. Now, when I'm obviously had that and I'm reading the book, I can hear Larry talking. I can hear it all. So it's like, you might have read that, you might have heard that before and over, but you hear it different every time. And the more you grow as a person, the more you grow in your confidence, the more it sinks in. So the more you can actually say to someone, this is it, just come on and listen to them. They make it so simple. It really is what they say it is, and just do it that way. And you don't have all this training, just this. Don't listen to anything else that's going on around about you. You don't need to know how to do that social media and be perfect on, as Carol says, be perfect on your Facebook page, because that was just something I was like, oh. Yeah. So basically doing the ABC, the three-legged stool, when he said that to me, I thought that.
You want to sing?
Genius.
Do you want to sing to us, Celia?
Every time I hear Taylor, I start singing the ABC. 1, 2, 3. I'm not singing.
Michael Jackson song.
As Celia said, it's not about reading loads and loads of books just once. It's about reading that one book over and over and over again until you cannot forget it.
Yeah, that's it.
Amazing, Celia. Thank you so much. You are incredible. Guys, show some love for these two amazing ladies. Very normal people that are at home with their kids. You've got the midwife and the stay-at-home mom who just joined this, like most of us, like ourselves, for that extra couple of hundred to make life a little bit more enjoyable.
And really enjoying doing business again.
And here they are growing in confidence. You can hear their income is increasing, but look at the confidence. Where in any other walk of life would you get the opportunity to come on a call in front of hundreds of people and share with an environment and a community that is cheering you on? Like the support here. I can't wait for you ladies to go back and look at all the wonderful supportive messages that you have got from everybody. Like it is this is a place to be on a Friday night without a shadow of a doubt. So thank you so much, Celia, and thank you so much, Carol. You ladies were amazing, and I'm so excited to watch what is going to happen in the next year. That is for sure, because what we're doing now is preparing us for 2022, guys. That's what you must remember. The results that you're working on now is going to show up big time in 2022, and that gets me so bloody excited because we see what has happened in the last 180 days, and it blows my mind every single day. So up next, we have the man of the moment. We hope that he's going to be okay because he is all on his lonesome tonight. He doesn't have Taylor beside him to keep him on the straight and narrow, and I think
kick him under the table.
And I think that's maybe why she asked me to do it, because I need to maybe keep him in check a little bit. But we are so honored to be interviewing Larry tonight. He is definitely
He is a living legend.
Yeah, one of the greatest inspiration in our lives. We will never, ever, ever be able to express the gratitude that he has brought to our life because we love this industry. This industry has changed everything for us. It has made us better people, better parents, better partners. But there was just something that we knew wasn't sitting right with us. And he took us under his wing. That's what he did, expecting nothing in return. That is how special this man is. It wasn't because he was like, you have to pay me this. There was nothing to do with that. It was because he genuinely has such a desire and a love for serving people that he is the greatest online upline in the world. And we are all so blessed that he is here with us tonight. So if you have a question for him, do pop it in the chat, and maybe we'll, if we've time, ask him to we will ask him some of the questions on your behalf. But Larry Thompson, Sir Lawrence, we are so thrilled to have you here tonight on your own show.
Hey, listen, I don't know. I'm nervous. Taylor's not here to keep me in check, as you said here, so I'm a little nervous. So you guys be gentle with me here tonight. You know, and it is tonight for you guys because you're 6 hours ahead or whatever it is. But I love the stories I just heard because that's my story. And that's Taylor's story. That's yours and Seamus's story. In the book, you hear about all the contributors. There's 16 different stories in here. Construction workers, waitresses, waiters, lady truck drivers, you name it, they're in here. And we all started the same way. And we all started with the same excitement, the same doubts, the self-doubts, the company doubts, whatever it may be. And these basic fundamentals is what carried us through. And the entire industry stands on the shoulders of the people that's in this book and them sharing their stories. And it's a duplicate of what we just heard here. So I'm excited about that. Very excited about what we're doing. So if you got some questions, I'll be happy to just keep talking. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not here.
We're going to ask you a couple of questions tonight, if that's okay.
I love somebody said, you're like the Santa Claus of network marketing.
Well, listen, I don't know if I like that image or not, but
you make everybody's wishes come true.
And the comment completely, but let me just share it. I know we have new people on here tonight for some of us, and need to explain a little bit what this is all about. I have been doing this for 53 years. I did start as the long-haired hippie construction worker 53 years ago with no self-confidence, no self-esteem. I was good at telling you the color of your shoes, but not the color of your eyes. And I never finished formal school because I was too shy to give the oral book report that had to come out back then, where you had to read the book, write about the book, and then walk across the stage in front of your classmates and share a little bit about it. And you got to realize I came from a very small farming community, and all of these kids I grew up with. I mean, there was one grammar school we call here in America. Okay, there was one middle school, and then there was one high school. And so everybody kind of came in together and stayed there together. And they were friends of mine, but I couldn't walk across the stage in front of them doing it. So at 16, I ended up at that particular point there, I quit school and went into construction work with my family and never considered doing anything different until I got that fateful phone call that, it's well documented. I won't go into it here now. But where I got my start in network marketing, which was not called network marketing or even multi-level back then. And I was very fortunate. And Mary, you were talking about, and Seamus, you're talking about how we kind of took you guys underneath the wing.
Yeah.
That's what happened to me.
Get the camera back on here. It just seems to have gone dead. So you keep talking. We're still here.
Okay, you got it. Okay. And what happened to me was the meeting that I came to, my very first meeting I ever came to in my life, was the first time I was ever in a hotel in my life. Also was a very significant thing for me. I'd never been exposed to anything like that. And but Bobby DePue was given the meeting that night, and he's the original strategist and tactician for network marketing. And there was another person there that night that joined the same company the same night I did, and that was Jim Rohn. He became a distributor that night the same night I did. Most of you know Jim Rohn as a philosopher and business strategist. I knew Jim Rohn as a distributor. We worked together as distributors. We worked together in the corporate roles. We worked together in consulting roles for all the time that until his passing. And the same thing with Bobby. But I'll tell you what motivated Taylor and I to bring this out, this academy out, the book out, and the club out, the ABC approaches we talked about. We have been traveling around the globe for the last almost dozen years now, working with corporations, working with top distributors, conference rooms, and providing our skill level to what they could be doing, okay, and what we thought. And things were changing rapidly in our space, and was changing rapidly because of social media. And what was it was exciting to see social media come in and see social media have such a positive impact on where our space was going and where it was experienced, but also where it was going. And it worked extremely well up until about 2015. And at 2000, it was going, because you heard the phrase here today. I don't know if you caught it or not, but it's called audience, language, and behavior. Yeah. The audience was changing, the language was changing, and the behavior was changing from traditional network marketing, which I grew up with, which I've had all my success with and helped so many other people have their success with. It was changing from that to becoming a marketer to become a network marketer. You had to learn this marketing techniques to become, and not necessarily on the focus of the fundamentals of being a network marketer. And it worked. It worked because of so much exposure, and it was coming so fast. But because and by the way, people have earned, because of social media, I'm telling everything that you guys have learned about social media, it works. It works, okay? But no matter what it is, it's working. There's new stuff come out every day. It works. But it is a job, okay? It is a specialty. It is like getting a master's degree. It is. Anybody can do ad tag message. I got that, but you got to understand that's not what this audience is all about that builds our space. It doesn't do that. What they're really looking for, and what I was taught 53 years ago, and what I taught to and brought to Herbalife 40 plus years ago, that got them to over $1 billion in sales, almost over $5 billion last year. Okay, and PM, which I started working with about 24 years ago, and reconnected with them about 10 years ago, and now driven them to almost $2 billion by making what we call GPS corrections. Okay. Everything that's been taught out there is good. There's nothing wrong with it as a whole, okay? But you got to look at it as is it a technique or is it a fundamental? Now, what do I mean by that? A technique is where do I go, what do I do, and what do I say? That's what most people believe they want to hear. Tell me where to go, tell me what to do, tell me what to say, and I'm your guy, I'm your girl, okay? And that's true if they can go there, do that, and say that. But what if they can't go there, do that, and say that because of their current life circumstances of confidence, okay? You tell someone exactly where to go, what to do, what to say. What if they're not up to that confidence level? What if they're not up to that commitment level, okay? It's like getting someone to get on a weight loss product. What if they're not ready for that, but yet they want to cut back and they want to do the right thing? So, you know, it's become what I have labeled as a Lamborghini bikini crowd. Okay, nothing wrong with it. It's very effective, but for that group, they're making more money than they've ever made before. God bless them. But that audience is shrinking, and it's shrinking because network marketing is no longer competing with the next network marketing company, and they're all the same. I promise you, you can take 10 companies and you can set the executives. You can walk from one room to the next, okay, with a blindfold on, and then never say the name of their company, but they have the exact same story that they've learned over the last dozen years of the CEO, the formulator, the Pulitzer Prize formulator, this social media expert, that one, this master distributor. It's the same, and it's a declining market. The figures just are coming out, the total figures, and then we had a boost last year over up. We had 2015 was the high, but there was a little boost here last year. But these problems, these situations still exist. And what is it? 80% of the people in a network marketing organization are there because they want to make $500 to $1,500 a month, okay, without disturbing their current lifestyle. Very important. So if that's what they're after, if that's where the audience is, okay, and by the way, that becomes your incubator, as Taylor talks about. I got involved in an incubator. All of these contributors, Mary and Seamus, okay, Carol and Celia, they got involved in an incubator where they got into this environment, this learning, teaching environment of these basic fundamentals. And we got to the place where we said, wait a minute, if that's all there is, I think I can do that. Okay, maybe I can as the first one. I'm starting to, maybe I can keep it up. And so what's happened in network marketing as they start going into social media and start teaching these techniques of where to go, what to do, and what to say, that are constantly changing. And the first time this came out of my mouth was about 5 years ago when I said, listen, whatever social media techniques that you're using that's working today, I said, I promise you two things. Number one, it was different a year ago. You were doing something different. And number two, I promise you a year from today, it's going to be different again. Okay. So if you build your team and you build you on the technique of where to go, what to do, and what to say, and it's constantly changing on you, and you spend all that time learning it and then teaching your team how to do it, you see what the frustrations and the disappointments are. Yes. And make no mistake, 80% of your people are going to be happy with $500 to $1,500 a month. 15% are going to incubate, and they're going to want $500 to $1,500 a week. And 5% are going to incubate as long-haired hippies, construction workers, carpenters, waitresses, waiters, truck drivers, and they're going to want to make 500 to 1,500 a day. The fundamentals never change. The fundamentals are the same. Okay, if we take American baseball, you guys are big in soccer over there, but I take American, it's run, hit, catch, throw. That's the fundamentals. And all you do is learn run, hit, catch, throw, and you learn how to get as good as you can at run, hit, catch, throw. Okay, as good as you can. Not the new color of the ball, to use something ridiculous, or the shape of the glove. Okay, it's run, hit, catch, throw. And they're simple, basic fundamentals that do not change. Every business, every enterprise, every industry has got fundamentals. We have now phenomenal technology that drives the aviation business. We can now go to the moon. We can now go to Mars. We can do all of that stuff, okay, on time, know exactly where it's going to land. But the fundamentals of aviation are exactly the same as the Wright brothers when they developed the first airplane. It's the same. It's the same. And it's the same here. And what we have done is made it into the Lamborghini bikini conversation because of the rise in social media. It's going to continue. And those people are going to continue to make all that money. But the real place is where the 60 million audience is. Because of the gig economy, network marketing is no longer competing with network marketing, as I said, company. They're competing with the gig economy. Because in the gig economy, it's positioned, there are 60 million of them in America alone, over 6 million of them in the United Kingdom, for example, right now, that are actively looking for someone to tell them how they can make $500 to $1,500 a month without disturbing their lifestyle. That's fun, simple, magical. And you know why this is so fun? Because it's so simple. It wouldn't be fun if it wasn't simple. Okay, you know why it's so magical? Because it's fun and it's simple, and anybody can do it, no matter what, with their current circumstances of health. Okay, everybody's got it. Family challenges. Okay, financial challenges. Okay, confidence challenges. Okay, once you start to grasp, wait a minute, is that all there is to this? So what did we do? We've been corporate owners. We've been anything in the industry, you name it. We've been it. Okay, been it. That's tell you my education. I've been it. Okay, and these fundamentals have never failed me. I've been doing this for 53 years, and I've had the good fortune of developing up 2 top 10 companies in the world, 2 top 10 companies that competed last year for the biggest award that they've ever had, and they both tied with a $600 million increase in revenues. Each one of these, they tied for the Bravo Award, and it's this. What we're talking about is the stuff that we implemented there, but now that stuff that we implemented there that grew those businesses, that everything continues to change, rapidly change. So we positioned ourselves today, not as master distributors, not as mentors and coaches and trainers, not as owners, not as consultants or outside business strategists. Because of what we saw happening with COVID, we knew the gig economy was going to continue to grow. And if we could get out there and position ourselves, Larry and Taylor, as the online upline, then what we would be able to do is take the distributors with us on that online upline. That's why we developed, that's why we developed the ABC approach, the Academy. Okay. Price point friendly, man. You know, we got that's unbelievable what you get over there. But with most of the stuff that we do as an online upline is free to you guys. Why? Because you're with different companies. You have different compensation models. You have different product lines. You have different company life circumstances going on. And this is working across the board. A lot of times on these book clubs, you have 3 different companies represented, 3 different countries, 3 different demographics, 3 different compensation, and they're all using the same thing. What is it? The ABC approach. The Academy, the book club, which is free, okay? And the book, if you want the book, it's there, but you can look, most of it's still free up there. You don't even have to get the book. But when you put the ABCs together, that ABC approach together, okay, and you start to understand, wait a minute, I can do this. I am capable. I am taller. You don't have to get taller. You don't have to get shorter. You don't have to get smarter. You don't have to be a personality. You got to be you. And these fundamentals work every single time. The deep dive was mentioned. The deep dive is where Taylor and I come in with the Academy members, okay? And we come in and in the mastermind group, and we come in the second week of every month on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of every month. And we spend live interactive teaching, sharing, okay, and GPSing what's in the Self-Taught Academy, what's in the book club, what's in the book, okay? We do it and it's self-taught and people are growing. And I couldn't be happier with it. I will tell you right now, I have been able to mentor 2 companies to $1 billion, to the top 2 in the top 10. Okay, 2 of them, they tied for the Bravo Award of $600 million a piece increase. People died just to have 10% of that for a yearly increase. Okay, and why is that taking place? Because of these adjustments and us being the online upline that's assisting all of these companies out there, wherever their life circumstances are right now, where their distributors are, and being able to take it to the marketplace. A lot of the companies don't respond, but the distributors do. And Taylor and I developed a byline. We're here to grow you, to grow your team, to grow your check, to grow your company. Don't hesitate. I want you to understand this. If you're on this broadcast right now, okay, you've got what it takes. You got what it takes. You got desire, that little extra desire. You got that little bit of extra willingness to work. You got that little bit of teachability. Now get into this incubator that Taylor talks about, of this learning, teaching environment, and the stories that you heard here tonight are your story. But here's more importantly, you saw Celia and you saw Carol. Every one of you have a Celia and Carol, multiple Celia and Carols on your team right now. How would you like to have them in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, being with the attitude, with the concept, the pride, the result that you heard these 2 ladies here tonight? I want you to think about that. They're in your team. But they didn't do it because their upline, Marion Seamus, didn't say, this is what you need to do. Marion Seamus said, this is what we're doing, okay? If, feel good about you, it, and them concept. And then if you want to do it, come aboard. And they can start with ABC approach and get there very, very quickly. And I'm telling you, it's going to work. The future leaders of our industry are going to be determined in 21, okay? Just like these guys in the book, guys, girls, okay, in the book, okay, were determined in 81 and 82 that are shoulders of that the entire industry stands on today. And by the way, they're still doing it and they're still active. And so I just appreciate Marion Seamus, the job that you guys are doing, because you guys started without the ABC. Okay, you didn't even have the book. We didn't have the academy the way it is. We didn't have the club. We had nothing. And your team launched onto this, and Taylor and I will forever be thankful to you for that platform there, because you guys have led the way. And everybody here that's on the broadcast, thank you for being here. I didn't take any questions. We're over the hour, but if you want to see if someone's got some questions, let's deal with a couple of them. Taylor can't kick me. She's not here. So, drop off. If you want to hang around, let's see what we got going on here. Let's see if someone's got some questions.
You answered quite a lot. I was thinking to myself, my goodness, I don't know why I spent the time thinking about all these questions, because here you have just answered them all anyway. But I suppose one of the things that I wanted to ask you, but I feel you've answered it, is why at this stage in your life, having all of the success that you've had, why have you come back harder, stronger, than ever? But maybe I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel that for you, it's about impact, because as you said, there are people that are achieving massive success. You've brought 2 companies to $1 billion. How are you so hungry at this stage? You are someone who's brand new. You'd remind me of a brand new distributor who has seen this for the first time.
It's always been that way for me. To me, it's like pregnancy. You do the test, it's either pink or blue, whatever it is, or it isn't. You know what I mean? You can say, I'm as transparent. If I don't believe, anybody can spot that. A 10-year-old kid can spot that. When Taylor, and you said an interesting phrase here, come back after all, we've never gone. Okay. Yeah. There was a 5-year period of time that I was in bed with chronic fatigue. And fortunately for me, Taylor nurtured me through that. And then the next 5 years, we were doing consulting work and things, but we were really getting, I inherited 3 young girls, and that was exciting for me, man, because I got to do all the kid stuff that at school and all that stuff, and I never had that before. So there was a slowdown during that time period, but there was never a get out. I was always working even if I was working from bed, I was working from bed. But when we got out there, it was 2011. And when we reconnected with PM International, which is one of the companies that got tied for the Bravo Award, the other one was Herbalife. And we looked at that and we saw what was going on there. We saw it was a great company, like all the product companies we work. You guys have got good companies, you got good products, you got good leadership. Doesn't mean they don't make mistakes. They make a lot of mistakes, okay? And it doesn't mean they're not confused. They're confused. COVID has confused everybody. But we identified, I was taught by Bobby, audience, language, and behavior. Not those words, but that's what it meant. And we could see that if people would make these adjustments, what could happen? It was pretty tough because we're dealing when the industry's going like this with social media, and we're saying, wait a minute, this is going to happen, and it did, but it just took about 5 years, okay? And so what the real thing is, these adjustments, this GPS that we brought out is really is the answer. But when COVID hit, we had to change. That's when we didn't have the book. We had to bring out the book. We had to get the academy. We had to get the club so that we could position ourselves as your online upline to be able to grow your business. And we're no different than you guys. We get excited when we do good, but we really get excited when our team does good, okay? And the team doesn't do good. You heard the phrase here, you can't lift their weights. We have been taught that you got to show them, you got to share with them. Come on, okay? You lose weight or you grow hair or you get the collagen change in your body. You do all the stuff that happens, whatever financial programs you guys got. Everybody gets excited when they see results, okay? But how do you not? We use the word duplication on our space. It's gone. In the last 3, 4, 5 years, there's been no duplication to speak of. You guys know it. No, maybe your upline won't talk to you about it. Maybe the company won't talk about it. Maybe you won't talk about it. But you've had addition because of social media. And that addition has brought wonders of growth for certain groups of people and income. But it's been addition. And that skill level that you have to operate there does not happen in the gig world. In the gig world, when a direct sales companies aren't competing with themselves anymore, with each other, who are they competing against? Gig, Uber, Amazon, Etsy, Thumbtack, all of these things where people can start this morning without having to know how to post, without having to do a video, without having to change their life, and they can start making that $500 or $1,500 a month. This month, they can start on that path, okay? Now, they don't have what we have, which is residual income off of our teams. So when you learn these things, okay, and you take in consideration this large audience out there that's looking for you right now, and they start with these fun, simple, magical things, now guess what? Now the exponential growth of your team starts to happen, and that's where all of this income comes in. Long answer, and I'm not sure I did it the justice that I wanted to.
It is not incredible, and I think that, a lot of people, for me, for instance, in the past, I would have felt that the only way for people to have success is using social media, because I didn't understand what your job description is and how you talk to people. Essentially, I could do it, but I didn't know how I was doing it, and to try to teach that, it just wasn't working. So anybody, if you follow your approach, and that's what I noticed in the deep dives, it's nearly like the weight of the world have been lifted off so many of these people's shoulders. Like after the first deep dive, they're like, second deep dive, they're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I can do this. And I do believe that this is one of the very few places where our camera's gone again, where you will hear that you are enough just as you are. In lots of other places, they're telling you need to become more, you need to do more, to have more, whereas you're saying you're enough just as you are. And if you embrace that, then the rest will fall into place. So yeah. Larry, honestly, thank you so much on behalf of myself and Seamus. We've disappeared completely from the screen. I don't know if we're going to come back, are we, Seamus?
No, you're okay. You're there. Your video's not there. Now you're back. And here's another thing here, and I apologize for this going over the hour, guys, but I just want to share it with you for those of you that can stay around the flagpole. There's been a big emphasis in our space about personal growth. Okay, you gotta grow personally. You gotta meditate. All of that stuff is great. There's nothing wrong with it. Personal growth is not the cause. Personal growth is the result. You can read every book that Arnold Schwarzenegger put out on bodybuilding and watch every video he's ever done, and you're not going to grow one bit. Okay, Okay, you got to lift your weights. On the awards, the direct sales awards this last week, there was a clip in there of Jerry Brasfield. Jerry Brasfield got one of the Legend Awards with me. Jerry Brasfield was the vice president and one of the founders of my first company that Jim Rohn and I joined the same day. He made a very powerful statement about personal growth. He says, you can't go out here and buy a 21-step course about how to grow personally and then get the next one and the next one. He said, that's as naive as you sitting by the pool and someone swimming and you're going to learn how to swim sitting by the pool, watching what they do. He said, you got to get yourself in a situation where it forces you to do more than you thought you were going to do because you had enough confidence to try it, okay? That's what the ABC approach does. You could see it in Carol's face. I could see it in Celia's face. I see it every time we get together. The growth is undeniable in front of someone, and it has not. Listen, great, read the books, great, do the meditation, do walk on the coal, do everything, but that's not where the growth comes from. It comes from you doing your daily job description and watching it happen in front of you and watching it happen for your team. What if you didn't have to have the answer to one question? Okay, what if there wasn't one, every question was asked, there was an answer for it, regardless of your country, regardless of your product and your compensation plan. That's what we've developed here. So what has drove us? Okay, I wanted to get a third B. Got 2 B's in my resume. I wanted a third B. When COVID hit, I realized that the third B wasn't going to come from necessarily a company. It's going to come. We got 2 or 3 of them in the mix right now. Okay, but where it's really going to come is from the wealth building community. They're going to come from here, where by the end, no later than 22, we're going to have you guys doing $1 billion plus a year in this community, and you guys are going to be making the money from it. Okay, and guess what? Your team's going to benefit. Your company's going to benefit from it as a result. So we're gonna get the third. Okay, we're going to get.
What a way to end tonight's call! Like, oh my God, if you are not excited after that, then I don't know what needs to get you excited.
How much of that 1 billion of a pie do you want to be in your business?
I want a lot because we want to make a big impact.
Yeah, and by the way, 1 billion is the benchmark. It's going to be multiple billions in the next 2 to 3 years for the people in this community that are contributing. Just like you said, Shane, how much of that do you want? Okay. And it's going to grow you, your team, your check, and your company. Let's go after this thing together. Let's do something spectacular together as common, everyday people doing our job description, taking this bull by the horn and doing what we know we can do. You're good enough. You're tall enough. You're short enough. You're young enough. Come on, come with us.
Amazing. So guys, from the midwife, the stay-at-home mom, the long-haired hippie, the school teacher, and the carpenter, we thank you so much for joining us tonight. Honestly, it has been our greatest pleasure. One of our highlights is definitely hosting this call. If you want to grow you, so you can grow your team, so you can grow your check and essentially grow your company, this is the place where you need to be. Every Friday night, 6 p.m. GMT, 12 p.m. Central, I think it is. Figure out the time. Every week they're here. If you haven't got the book, I've got no idea if it's something that you would want, but I would recommend getting it. I don't know if it's going to work for you, but if it's worked for the midwife, if it's worked for the stay-at-home mom, if it's worked for the carpenter, and if it's worked for the school teacher, maybe it's going to work for you. What I do know is it's worth trying. So Larry, have an amazing weekend. Taylor, we're sorry we did go over, but I think it was such a valuable book club, and we will talk to you all soon. Have an amazing evening.
Thank you. I feel like the teacher's pet. Taylor being the teacher, and I'm the teacher's pet. She trusts me. Anyway, thank you guys. Thank you. See you next Friday. So deep dive. The first deep dive in May is going to be the second week of the month. Get in there. You're going to love it. You're going to love it.
Amazing. Take care, guys. Thanks so much.
Guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.